It may not be as obvious to you, but if you want to study in Canada and get permanent residency, IRCC just gave you a big gift. But it's not as straightforward. So in this video, you'll learn about the new change, how to use it, and the next steps to PR. I often meet with government leaders, and there's one message I keep hearing. We need sustainable immigration. Not just more people, but the right people. Imagine a gap in the Canadian economy. It doesn't need just any shape, not a circle, not a square, it needs a triangle. Your job? Be that triangle. Canada doesn't just want immigrants, it wants problem solvers. So if you're planning your future here, start thinking like a policymaker. What problem do you solve? On June 25th, the Canadian government changed the list of educational programs that qualify for a postgraduate work permit. 178 programs were removed, while 119 were added. Important note, this only refers to college programs. If you get a bachelor's, master's, or a PhD degree, no matter the field of study, you can still get your postgraduate work permit. But here's what no one is talking about. French teacher education is now on the list. That's not a coincidence, that's a signal. For the first time, education made it to the PGWP approved fields of study. And more specifically, programs that train people to teach French, science, and the arts. This is Canada saying, we need bilingual teachers, and we're opening doors to make it happen. If you've ever spoken French, if you learned it in school, if your country has a French-speaking population, that's not just a skill anymore, that's your immigration advantage. But even if you don't speak a word in French, there's a great opportunity now. You see, most people are still applying for general business diplomas. But many of those programs now removed. French teacher education now added. This isn't just a change in policy, it's a reallocation of opportunity. So what else changed? Now let's look at the highlights. They added architecture, construction management, CNC machining, veterinary and dental programs, French teacher education, drama and dance teaching, but they removed solar energy technician, environmental studies, agricultural business, aviation maintenance, public transport planning. Translation? Canada's betting on healthcare, education, trades, and skilled applied programs, not general studies or outdated fields. Let's be honest, most international students apply based on what's popular, not on what's strategic. But if you're applying now, especially after November 1st, 2024, you need to play smarter. Here's how. International students, this is a quick and simple tutorial to look into your future, in particular to check whether you will be getting a postgrad work permit when you graduate, as well as to see your chances for permanent residence. There's two steps. Step one is you need to go on the DLI list Canada, which is Designated Learning Institutions list, colleges and universities that can accept international students. You want to scroll down to the province, select where you will study, for example, Ontario, let's say you're going to the University of Toronto, then you want to look for this column on the right side. It should say yes, that the school offers PGWP eligible programs. Ideally, it's just a yes. In some cases, it may be yes plus details. Let me demonstrate. For example, this school says yes plus details. You want to click details and then it specifies which programs are eligible for PGWP. In this case, a Master's of Psychology and the PhD in Clinical Psychology. Now, step two is you want to identify whether you're going to study at a bachelor's, master's, PhD levels, or you're going to a college for a 1-year certificate or a 2-year diploma. If you are in the situation B, you need to go on the check your eligible CIP. CIP is the classification of instructional programs, which is basically study programs at college level which are eligible to apply for a postgrad work permit as of this recording. Now, you want to look up your study program, let's say software, and here on the right side, you will find the name of your study program. If you see it on the list, you are in the green. You will be eligible to apply for a postgrad work permit. Again, this applies to college students, 1 or 2 year certificate programs. Now, finally, how do you check if your study program leads to PR? This is where you want to go on the express entry category-based selection. These are 6 categories which are prioritized for permanent residency. If we exclude French-speaking category because this is just by language and look into just occupations, we want to reverse engineer. So let's say you're going to study computer science. We want to click the STEM category and then find if your future potential job is on this list. Or if you want to be a nurse, let's say, we go to healthcare and we search it up. Nurse, licensed practical nurses, there you go, nurse practitioners. If it's on the list, it means that the threshold in the future to get PR will be lower than everybody else. Alternatively, to find out if the job your program leads to is PR prioritized, you can download PR Compass on the App Store and not only see the priority, but identify the best PR pathways in your case. If you're going to spend tens of thousands of dollars studying in Canada, spend at least 5 minutes making sure it's a good strategic choice that leads you to job opportunities and permanent residency. Because here's the thing, you can study a 2-year diploma and still not qualify for a PGWP or PR, but someone who studies French teacher education for 1 year might. Meet Mohammed, he just got his permanent residency this year. Low CRS score, no master's degree, no job in a PR prioritized field. He worked as an accountant. Graduated from a 2-year program at a college in Ontario. His CRS score, not even close to 500. And yet, last month, he opened his inbox and saw this email. You've been invited to apply for permanent residency. How? He didn't change jobs. He didn't go back to school. He didn't move to a different province. He learned French. Most people think, I don't live in Quebec, why would I need French? But this is the part that's changed and most people haven't caught on. Canada is now running category-based express entry draws, and French speakers are at the top of the list. While the general cutoffs float around 500s, Mohammed was invited to apply through the French-speaking stream with a score of 400. French is now one of the most underrated immigration hacks in Canada. And here's what matters most. You don't need to be fluent. You don't need to sound like you're from Paris. You just need intermediate in TEF or TCF and a strategy. But if you're watching this thinking, that kind of success isn't for people like me, ask yourself this. What if it actually is, just in a different language? We built a program specifically for immigrants like Mohammed. If you want to try learning French, there's group classes and individual classes. Of course, I recommend the individual classes, especially for people who want to go from zero French to PR in 1 year. Here's what one of our clients said about his experience. Why don't you try it out, because you can cancel anytime. But if it works, it could change your life. Here's what you need to do right now. Number 1, check if your planned program is PGWP eligible. Number 2, if you haven't applied yet, consider switching to a strategic field like French education. Number 3, if you have a high enough CRS score and you're in a PR priority occupation, make an express entry profile. If you need help, you can book a consultation with one of my lawyers. The link will be in the description. Number 4, last but not least, learn French. If you want to learn more about our French school, the link is also in the description. Finally, here's the truth. This is no longer about who wants to stay in Canada. It's about who Canada wants to stay. The future isn't about fitting in, it's about being needed. So are you still chasing what's popular, or are you going to study what's strategic? Thank you so much for watching. If you found some value in this video, give it a big like and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.